Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got the one and only Chris Kidd here on the program. Great resource for investing in general, the whole financial arena. He's a money coach and does great work with athletes and individuals of all sorts, including couch potatoes. And delighted to have you, as always, on the program. By the way, you can learn more about him at Chris Kidd. That's Kidd, chriskidd.com. Chris, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good. And tell us about your guest today.
My guest today is Jay Peroni. He's a certified financial planner. He's an author and speaker. He's the author of Faith-Based Millionaire and the Faith-Based Investor. He runs a couple of different financial investment sites. One is the faithbasedinvestor.com. The other is wallstreetrenegade.com. And I'll let him tell us a little bit more about that. Are you there, Jay?
I am here. How are you doing today, Chris?
Great. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Jay, tell us a little bit about your background. Kind of give us your elevator speech, if you will.
Yeah, I worked on Wall Street with some of the largest Wall Street firms for about 15 years. And after, kind of seeing all of the way that these firms were structured, I thought there's got to be a better way for individual investors to get unbiased advice. And for me, a lot of my clients were looking to incorporate their values into what they did. They were looking to incorporate who they were as individuals into the investment process. So I decided to create my own firm to help people specialize in that type of investing. It's called faith-based investing or values-based investing, and I've launched a number of websites to help individual investors be able to take information and use it in a more effective way.
Awesome. Go ahead there, Chris.
Well, Jay, that's one thing that you and I both really share a strong belief in, that individual investors can make their own decisions and make good decisions when they have the right information. I guess, what is your opinion versus going through somebody, which the typical investor will just go take somebody's advice. They don't ever do their homework, and they just say, well, what should I buy? What should I sell? Just tell me what to do.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the individual has a responsibility. I think just, pawning that off on someone else isn't always the answer. I know some people are so busy, they don't have the time to do the research and homework and trading and all that sort of stuff, and it makes sense for certain people to hire a professional. But even when they do that, they should still fully understand the process. What are they buying? How are they investing? What does the process look like? That's really important. And far too many people just pawn it off on someone else and just, hope that it works out, and that's really not a good recipe for success.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think it's very important for people to think about what they're investing in. A lot of people will put money in mutual funds, for example, and they're actually supporting things financially that go directly against their moral values. They might be, supporting some company that produces abortion-related products. I mean, people are really mindless about this type of thing, and I wish people had this attitude in general. If Christians really, embrace these ideas, Christians seem to have a problem with the media. I know this Christian has a problem with going on in the media. If we collectively felt that way, we could become majority or significant owners of media and have a huge influence on how they looked at the news. And yet we don't think about it. I don't think we're very consequential in the way we look at things.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, and that's really what led me down this path. I was on a board of a Christian organization, and one of the chairpersons was very proactive in the pro-life community. I mean, she was donating, hundreds of thousands of dollars to pro-life organizations. And then when you looked at her portfolio, she was, supporting with her investment dollars some of the companies she was fighting against. And that really, hit a light bulb in my head and said, there's got to be a better way. And if more people could find out about this type of investing, they'd be on board. And very rarely do I meet someone that says, okay, look, we can figure out a way that you're going to make money and incorporate your faith and values. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? And, most people are like, absolutely, I'd love to do that. So that's really what I'm passionate about, is helping people realize that, there are thousands and thousands of companies out there, and there's only about 10 to 15% of those companies that fail the screens that we as Christians use, and that still leaves us thousands and thousands of investment choices. And if we can't find good winners amongst those thousands, shame on us in our investment process, not on the screening process.
Yeah. When you were talking a little while ago that a lot of people don't have time to go do all the extra homework and stuff that might be required, but they can get the cliff notes and some shortcuts, so to speak. They still have to do their own homework, but they can use services such as yours where you actually screen the companies for them, right?
I do, yeah. I use about 12 different screens, everything from abortion to embryonic stem cell research to alcohol and tobacco production. And what I'm looking for is a company that our subscribers can be what's called proud to own. These are companies that have made it through our screening process both morally, and the second side of it is financially. I mean, if we find a great company that's, not doing anything offensive morally, but they're not profitable, well, that kind of defeats the whole process. So it's not an either-or scenario, it's an and scenario. We want companies that meet our moral objectives and have the potential to be hugely profitable for our clients and subscribers.
Yeah, I've been calling this approach. I've been an advocate of it for a long time, and I'm glad the screening is there now. But I call it conscious ownership, and I use that as a double meaning. Conscious in that it's reflective of my own conscience, my own morality, but conscious also in the cognitive sense, that I'm thinking about what exactly I'm investing in. And I think it's crucial. Are you helping make connections between new companies, startup companies, and investors using this criteria? Because I tell you, there'd be a huge market for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mostly I'm dealing with public equities, but once they go IPO, I'm certainly looking at them. And, I do a lot of work with companies in Israel. Israel's been a real hotbed for our clients, and a lot of up-and-coming technology companies that have been, around for a long period of time, from a company perspective, but they've only been traded on the exchanges for a year or two or less. So I'm really an advocate for looking at and finding kind of off-the-radar companies that have a great track record before becoming public and really taking them to our investors to say, here's a great idea, great company, I love what they're doing, and now is a great time to get in.
Yeah, Jay Peroni, Faith-Based Investing. Jay Peroni, that's Peroni.com. Jay, thanks for being with us.
I appreciate it.
And Chris, final thoughts before we wrap it up?
It was fantastic. I think anybody that's definitely interested in what Jay's doing should check out faithbasedinvestor.com. And your other one is Wall Street Renegade, and that's WALLSTRENEGADE.com.
That is correct, yeah. That is for independent investors looking to, have trading ideas. We've got option trading, we've got stock trading, we've got ETFs, a lot of different strategies to help investors to incorporate their faith and values into the investment process.
Got to wrap it up. You can reach Chris Kidd at chriskidd, that's KIDD.com. More after this, right here on The Price of Business.